Mic check, back. Hey, I'm Ches and welcome back to the Out Loud channel. In today's videos, I'm going to talk about cryptocurrencies and discuss if, as architects and landscape architects, we should let cryptocurrency into our industry and have perhaps clients pay fees directly in crypto, or perhaps even having our salaries paid in cryptocurrency. So let's get to it right away. So in my previous videos, I mentioned that aside from all the many side hustles I have and my landscape architect full-time job, I've turned interest in the world of cryptocurrency. And while I believe that the potentials of cryptocurrencies have just barely been scratched, and there is so much potential going forward, I'm obviously in it for money too. And while recently I've been looking into some research about cryptocurrencies and how this may relate to design, I came across a very interesting article on Zine from thezine.com, and it's about a cryptocurrency billionaire who planned to build a blockchain smart city in the Nevada desert. If you're interested in this article, just be sure to check out the link in the description. Although I noticed that it's a 3 years old article, I think it's still very relevant, as it kind of made me rethink of the role of crypto in the world of design and architecture, and of course landscape architecture. And I'm not going to delve into an in-depth analysis of how crypto really relates to design. So the article does explain a bit about the characteristics of a smart city powered by blockchain technology and how such a smart city could become, and I quote, a new kind of business and residential community. But however, like all design related stuff, design is subjective, and that can often be time consuming, very inefficient, and sometimes make things become pretty much obsolete. So instead of focusing on design, let's unpack cryptocurrencies and its potential uses for design firms and staff. So what are cryptocurrencies and how do they work? Cryptocurrencies are secure digital representations of value or contractual rights that can be transferred, stored, and traded electronically. Basically, a cryptocurrency is a digital asset that can be traded and used to pay for things. There is no intrinsic value to this digital asset. This is determined by supply and demand, so it's really only worth what a buyer would pay for it, which ultimately makes cryptocurrency really volatile, unstable, unpredictable, and very hard to value. The real beauty of cryptocurrency is that they're completely decentralized, and what that means is that there's no banks or any middleman in the process. They're not controlled by a bank, like for traditional fiat currencies. Crypto instead operates on an open network. Each transaction is basically immutable, and it works on a peer-to-peer basis. This is called a blockchain, which basically represents a never-ending chain of blocks, hence the name blockchain, that are the peer-to-peer transactions which are grouped one after the other. And these transactions are created by nodes. These nodes are basically computers used by people that are connected to the blockchain. You still with me? So what are the key disruptive points of this technology? So first of all is the immutability of these transactions. And I follow a guy's channel called Hashoshi. I put the link in the description. And I love the way he put it. This point makes a transaction uneditable and changeable. So once a transaction is made, verified, and signed in the blockchain, it becomes immutable, and it's all stored on the blockchain ledger. It would be something perfect for auditing. No deleting, no modifying. Basically, fraud is avoided, and nor is any money laundering transaction. So you can see how this can be extremely disruptive. And to say the least, today, I really honestly suspect that a lot of the developments that are being built around us, maybe by key developers that are based globally, internationally, these developments are possible probably through money laundering transactions. And so while this is a very big accusation, today I just don't understand how it is possible, especially in a city like London, that we have so many developments, so much building still going on. But anyways, as I said before, crypto transactions are stored in the blockchain, and these are verifiable and available at all times on the distributed ledger. So this means that all history and transactions are available at all times. And again, from an auditing perspective, it's stored unmodifiable, and safe. Finally, traditional transactions are to be forgotten. Imagine you want to send money to a friend internationally. You potentially be using different banks. Sometimes that can take some time, and depending on the amount, there are likely to be fees for that transaction. As architects and designers, a lot of our clients are international, so you can see where there's a benefit here, where the value lies. And of course, I'm using the example of send money to a friend type of thing, but really the technology becomes useful when we're talking about large transactions, very big amounts. With peer-to-peer transactions, you only have to pay one fee, which is super low, and the funds pretty much get sent directly without the middleman. One example is a humongous transaction from, I think, in 2018, where a number of bitcoins worth $194 million were moved, guess what, with a $0.1 fee only. I really love to talk about these disruptive technologies because I often find myself maybe talking to friends or other people and suggesting them, hey, crypto and blockchain really have a potential to maybe improve some of the systems, like even the economical system, the financial system. And yes, I mean, even the architectural and landscape design industry. I recently asked someone in the industry, I said, hey, why don't we integrate crypto in our industry? I mean, we could get clients to pay fees in crypto and even maybe get bonuses based on a kind of positive fluctuations in the market. And the answer was, nah, this is an intangible asset, something that is not very physical. We're based in an industry where everything is physical, buildings, vegetation, blah, blah, blah. And honestly, I kind of feel a bit sorry for people to think like this because that is simply a very traditional and conservative way of thinking about innovations and technologies that are new. And to be fair, you have to admit that technologies like this are not here to leave, they're here to stay. Blockchain is such a disruptive and powerful technology that is not here to disappear. I think the landscape and architecture industry can already have blockchain integrated, or at least will have very soon blockchain component integrated within it, be it for payments or for information sharing. But trust me, it will. Have you ever asked this question to someone in your institution or practice? If you have, what were the responses? Jot them down in the comments and let me know. But also, what is your opinion about it? Do you think there is a potential for crypto to be integrated in our industry? Or perhaps not, and it's not worth it in your view? So with every disruptive technologies, there are pros and cons. There are a lot of both. Say, for example, volatility, uncertainty, and even the energy consumption are part of the cons. But that doesn't seem to be putting off any consumers. And actually, crypto is gaining much more mainstream acceptance. PayPal, for example, recently allowed its customers to pay, sell, and trade cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin. And like PayPal, even Tesla for a small period of time recently accepted Bitcoin to buy a car. And if you're like me and you love Tesla and you don't have the funds to buy it, like me, well, too bad. But if you do own enough Bitcoins, until very recently you could potentially buy a Tesla with them. But because of the recent energy consumption rise and the concerns about the environment, Elon Musk recently said that Tesla would not accept Bitcoins any longer until when basically mining cryptocurrency becomes sustainable and using renewable energy instead of a huge consumption of coal. But what I'm saying really is that the acceptance of crypto really signals that digital currencies are becoming much more common than we think. And again, something that I've just mentioned, which is becoming extremely controversial, especially for a landscape architect like me that cares about the environment, is that the energy consumption to mine cryptocurrencies, it has a huge impact on the environment. So cryptocurrencies like Bitcoins or Ethereum, as mentioned at the beginning, they're currency which peer-to-peer transactions are approved and verified in the blockchain. And this process happens through a model called proof of work. This model is called consensus mechanism, and it's a requirement to confirm transactions on a blockchain without the need for a third party. So it's crucial for the whole infrastructure to work. Proof of work is based on a form of mathematics called cryptography, hence the name cryptocurrency. Cryptography uses very hard mathematical equations that only extremely powerful computers can solve. But once that's done, the network knows that the transaction is authentic. And although proof of work is an incredible, amazing technology, it requires a huge amount of electricity and only can process a very few transactions at a time. And this is because the cryptographic sum that miners have to solve, it's incredibly difficult. A recent study found that the total amount of electricity required to keep the Bitcoin network functional is more than the amount used by more than 159 individual countries. Not only this is bad for the environment, but it really slows down the adoption of cryptocurrency in the real world, because obviously electricity bills must be paid in fiat currency. A different consensus model was created and it's called Proofofstake. I'm not going to delve in the explanation of that because actually I'm still trying to understand both of these, but it's important to note at least that this model rewards in such a manner that requires much less electricity than the proof of work requires. So finally, what does crypto mean for architecture and design, and what is the financial impact that that can have? Let's just address what crypto could mean for professionals in the industry if they were to accept it and allow clients to pay fees in crypto. I'm kind of still trying to understand fully the workings of crypto and the blockchain, but I think there is a chance for it to be fully integrated and eventually create very high profits. To be honest, there are two sides to the coin. And on one side, let's just imagine that practitioners could allow international clients to pay their fees in crypto. How could this be done really? So let's imagine that you're the architectural practitioner and you have a massive master planning project, and your fees, let's just say it's $1 million, which basically today is worth of I don't know, just over 20 bitcoins. To make the explanation really simple, let's just make the assumption that the fee will be paid all in once. I know traditionally it's not done like this and it's not very safe or really good practice, but it's just for the explanation. Let's assume that when the contract is signed, the client is accepting to either pay with fiat currency or with crypto. So let's just assume that he's paying in Bitcoin. Another assumption is that the project will last, let's say, 4 weeks. And in those 4 weeks, the value of Bitcoin can rise or fall. The day the client signed the contract that you put forward, they accept to pay you in Bitcoin with the value of the Bitcoin on the day that they sign the contract. So this could be either hugely convenient for you and for the client, or the total opposite and be a complete loss for both. So on the side of the practitioner, the day that the fee is paid, the value of the Bitcoin could have gone so high that perhaps the practitioner decides to transfer some of that Bitcoin into fiat currency and maybe pay special crypto bonuses or something like that. Basically, all it means is that it could just be an extra profit that it's made on top of the fee. This is a gamble. I've stated this. It could go cosmically well, it could be an amazing gain, or it could just go very, very wrong, and the value of the Bitcoin is actually gone down below what was the value of the Bitcoin the day that the client signed that contract. So if it does go well, this could be extremely beneficial for the practice. And that's really what I'm trying to get at. So an architectural design practice would of course have some fixed costs to consider, be it a rent to be paid or salaries to be paid and stuff like that. And so crypto is a very unstable asset, therefore risk must be taken into consideration. Anyways, why is blockchain really useful in the design and architecture industry? Trust is a key element in the current state of sharing information. And so perhaps here is where Bitcoin makes trust something that is given or implied. So I found a very interesting article of an architectural practice based in Canada, and this architectural practice wrote a piece about blockchain in the building industry. I'll leave the link in the description, but really it was so hard to find research, data and information about how crypto could be linked to the architectural industry. So the practice is called KFA, and they explore the blockchain aspect in relation to information sharing as well as payments on time. And they state that it is the two core items of archiving and sharing data, along with improving on timely payments, which is what blockchain is all about in this industry. So they continue the archiving and clear sharing of information and data between all interested and contributing parties helps to provide everyone with the same complete view of a project. And it is that archiving of data that can assist in auditing the performance of a project in the event of commercial disputes. Insurance companies and lenders definitely see the benefit and show interest in this information when setting insurance premiums on performance bonds and interest rates on construction loans. So what that means, for example, is that blockchain allows projects to avoid damaging or losing any archived information. Additionally, payments are the other plagued facets of the construction industry, and blockchain could be the way late payments and delays are avoided and eventually erased. So the article continues with, it is through blockchain that digital smart contracts with integrated escrow accounts and built-in factoring capability create a trustless, distributed and decentralized payment system. So this guarantees compliance and the elimination of human error. Contractors will be automatically paid out through the execution of smart contracts, which will disburse funds to them upon the completion of mutually agreed milestones. Basically, blockchain creates the opportunity to form partnerships with professional organizations, collaboration amongst various partners and suppliers, the collection and housing of important data for everyone in a team to access, and also a way to be held accountable. So the future of cryptocurrency is very unstable, but proponents see very unlimited potential. Controversially, critics of cryptocurrency see crypto as a huge risk. And although there are many skeptics, even those people can see that when cryptocurrency is used in specific applications, it can be a very valuable solution. So in conclusion, because of the very many barriers that cryptocurrency has towards mass adoption of crypto, it's only understandable that many investors are being very cautious about using crypto. And yet most people believe that cryptocurrency and the blockchain as a technology are here to stay. And that's because they offer too many of the advantages that consumers want in a currency. And that is transparency, decentralization, and flexibility on top of them. Once cryptocurrencies reaches a tipping point for the mass adoption, then it's just going to stay there. Then its future is likely assured. In the meantime, it will remain really fascinating to see how crypto plays out and how things will progress. With this video, all I wanted was to expose how cryptocurrency can be used in the architecture and design industry. Be it how a client can be allowed to pay for fees in crypto, or be it a practitioner who made a profit out of crypto and begins to pay crypto bonuses to their staff. But anyways, this was about discussing the opportunities, the pros and cons about crypto, and essentially discussing the opportunities that could arise. And with that said and done, if you're an architect or a designer, what do you think about crypto? Are you new to cryptocurrency, or have you already been investing in them? Do you own any? Do you see potential uses in the architecture and design industry? Or perhaps you think that they're absolutely useless. And in fact, because it is not a real asset, you don't think there is a potential for crypto to be integrated in the industry. Let me know what you think in the comments. And of course, thanks so much for watching. And if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below. Let me know your thoughts. And if you have any ideas for future videos, let me know. I'll be reading all your comments. Bye.